Dr. Shoreh Ershadi is a PharmD, a PhD. She is board certified by the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine. She is the Chief Medical Officer of Apoptosis Nutraceuticals. Welcome to the show, Shoreh.
Thank you for having me.
Excited to have you on. Tell us a little bit about your personal life, some more about your work, and why you do what you do.
Okay, great question. As I was growing older and not aging, but growing older, I decided that I didn't want to, I wanted to age, but I didn't want to get old. I wanted to maintain my energy level. I wanted to maintain the vitality, the cognitive function. So I digged into anti-aging and I became board certified with American Academy of Anti-Aging. 25 years ago, I started the Anti-Aging Institute of California. During the 25 years, we did a lot of work and we had products and did a lot of research. And I came across apoptosis, which was fascinating to me. And what I would like to talk to you a little bit about that is how the apoptosis process works in the body. You asked about my personal life. I'm a painter. I paint, I sculpt, I'm creative. So I sort of included that creativity into the anti-aging process and to using apoptosis for maintaining our vitality and our health and understanding what science can offer for us to use science and nature together to stay young and healthy.
I love it. I love so much about what you said. Growing older is okay, not necessarily aging. And why wouldn't all of us want to, as we are aging, just hold on to our vitality and have wonderful life and health span? So all that makes sense. So what is apoptosis?
Okay, you can pronounce it apoptosis or you can pronounce it apoptosis. Either way is medical, is scientific, it's accepted. Apoptosis is fascinating, and I'm going to explain it a little bit easier in a way. It's a Greek word, and it means falling of the leaves. We have all seen that dry leaves fall from the tree becomes naked, and then in spring, fresh leaves appear on the tree. Just imagine that all the dead leaves, all the dry leaves would stay on the tree, and then the fresh leaves would grow. Eventually, that tree would explode because
Hmm.
it has to get rid of the old, damaged, unfunctional leaves. They're not useful anymore. They're dead. They're not doing anything. This process happens in our body. When we're in the fetus and we're developing our hands and arms and fingers and toes, there is tissue, mesenchymal tissue between our fingers and our toes, just like bats and like birds. Apoptosis gets rid of those. It removes that extra tissue that is formed between the fingers and the toes so that we can function. We can use our fingers as separate and we can use our toes separate. So even before we are born, apoptosis is happening in our body. But we don't know about it. And, learning about science and going after research, we found out that apoptosis is happening all through our lives. So imagine I get dry skin and I get wrinkles or I get a zit. That cell falls off. The skin removes the dead cell with fresh, healthy cell. That is apoptosis. It's happening all the time. And as we grow older, we want to maintain this function. Now we get, viruses like COVID. We get a flu. We have all these environmental problems, toxins that are all around us. We breathe the toxic air, or we eat some food that have, toxins, or chemicals that we don't need. The body gets rid of those. So as long as apoptosis is working and getting rid of all those damaged, old, unfunctional, mutated cells, we stay healthy. If we let our bodies down, if the cell evades apoptosis, which happens in cancer cells, then the cancer cell would grow. So we all get, everybody, we have 30 trillion cells in our body. Everybody has around 30 trillion cells. And we get damages all the time, from being a baby all the way to living to be 100, or now people are living to be 110, for example. And damage happens by viruses, by diseases, by accidents, by cancer. If apoptosis prevails in the body, the cancer cell is destroyed. If the cancer cell is stronger and evades apoptosis, then the cancer cell would grow and metastasize and cause a disease. This can go the other way around. Do you have questions for me? Am I going too fast? I'm excited about what I talk.
I am tracking. So keep going, please.
Yeah, if you want to interrupt me at any time, please go ahead. So the other way is also possible. For example, with Alzheimer's, with Parkinson's disease, the neurons are destroyed. So that is too much apoptosis happening, because the uncontrolled apoptosis is destroying the neurons, destroying the myelin. Therefore, Parkinson's happens, MS happens, we get, our cognitive function is destroyed. And as we get older, the possibility of getting cancer, the possibility of getting dementia, Alzheimer's, all these degenerative diseases increases with age. Why is that? Is because apoptosis is not functioning as well. Either it works too much to destroy the cells, or it's not functioning properly to maintain the healthy cell. So what we're doing at Apoptosis Nutraceuticals is that, with lots of research, and you can read this research, there's tons of research out there. If you just Google apoptosis, you will get tons of information. What we are doing at Apoptosis Nutraceuticals is that we are encouraging the body to maintain this process at its optimal functioning state. And science and nature work together. There are amazing natural herbs, natural foods, natural substances that promote apoptosis to function properly. As compared to necrosis, for example, if we're in an accident, or if we burn our hand, for example, that is necrosis. The cell dies. It's painful, it causes inflammation, the recovery is difficult, and it takes a long time to recover because the body has to overcome the damages. I don't know if you heard, in 2022, an orangutan in Indonesia was recorded. They were filming him for, continuous filming, and they found out that he had a very deep wound on his cheek. And he went to a plant and chewed the leaves of the plant, made a paste in his mouth, put the paste on the wound, and after 4 days, that deep wound was healed. And when they checked the plant, it's called Kara something Kuning, Akra Kuning, the plant is. They found out that the plant has analgesic, anti-pain ingredients, and anti-inflammatory ingredients. So even the orangutan knew that if he puts the paste of the leaves, it can heal the wound. So we know that. We know that nature has so much to offer us. You know, there are treatments. There's chemotherapy, there's immunotherapy, radiotherapy for cancer, but now they're attaching the chemo or the immune therapy to apoptotic functions so that this chemo would go straight into the damaged cells because apoptosis knows where to go. It's not going to go kill the healthy cell, it's going to go kill the damaged cell and destroy the damaged cells. So we are using that. We're using science. We're using, biocurcumin from turmeric. We're using all these anti-inflammatory substances that nature has provided us with plethora of different kinds of herbs and plants and fruits that we can use, and we can maintain the process to work functionally. One of the other things I would like to add is the word inflammaging. Inflammaging is in the dictionary now. It's a word. It wasn't a word. It's a combination of inflammation and aging. I'm just putting them together, pronouncing them, but it's called inflammaging. So as we age, the process of inflammation adds up in our body. We get more inflammation. You can see it in your skin. You can see it in my skin now that we're doing the video. Compare your picture from 10 years ago. I would like your audience to do that. Just look at your picture 10 years ago, no matter how old you are. You will see inflammaging. You will see inflammation. The skin is inflamed. Our body is inflamed. Our heart is inflamed. The stress on our nervous system gives us so much pressure, and that causes aging. So we want to reduce inflammation and reduce inflammaging. We're going to stay healthy. We're going to stay energetic. We're going to keep the vitality. We're not going to wrinkle. And we're going to maintain our cognitive function and age as long as, we're supposed to live.
I love it. A lot of really good stuff. So I have around 30 trillion cells in my body. Does that maintain? So if apoptosis is working correctly, it's getting rid of the bad ones, and then does my body create new ones? If it's not work,
Exactly. Everything in your body is changing at all times. Even our bones. Every 14 years, you won't have one single cell of the bone that you had 14 years ago. So then the question comes, then why do we age? If we are replacing the cell in my bone from 14 years ago, why do I get osteoporosis? Why is that bone cell that is 14 years older is not functioning properly to stay as young as the cell that was 14 years ago? Even there was this idea that brain cells do not regenerate. We know that brain cells regenerate. Every cell in our body is regenerating. The question you're asking is, are these 30 trillion cells as good when they are regenerated as the original, as the one that we had when we were 20? Our peak of health is between 20 to 25. When we look at that from the aging process, after 25, we start aging. Historically, 200 years ago, average life expectancy in the United States was over 40 years for men and women. People were dying by diseases or wars or not natural causes, but they were not living to be that long. Very few were living to be 100 years old. And nature, at some point, is working against us. For example, women over 40 were getting menopause. Now the average age of menopause is 51 in the
Mm.
United States. But nature is saying, okay, you were born to reproduce, now you cannot reproduce, we're done with you. Or with men, they're losing their testosterone. So they use that vigor, they lose that structure, the muscles, all of that. So what do we do? Now that we have the knowledge, we have the science, we have nature supporting us, we can work and use the nature, the substances, the fruits, the herbs, and together with the knowledge to maintain our health after the nature is working a little bit against us.
Understood. So I think we all know that inflammation is bad, though I don't know that we know why it's necessarily bad, just that we all think that it is and we know it is. And inflammaging sounds even worse. What is actually happening? Is it damaging cells? Is it causing cells to not do apoptosis?
What happens is that we have the white blood cells, we have the T cells and the B cells that are fighting against outside invaders, if we look at it that way. So when there is no problem outside, these cells are going through phagocytosis. If a bacteria or a virus comes in the body, they will go and destroy that. And there's a little bit of inflammation, but then it's gone. That is when we are at the peak of our youth and our health. And I want to add this, not every young person is 100% healthy, but we could have a 100-year-old person who could be very healthy. So age is not the only factor, but how our body reacts. And then our body releases cytokines. Cytokines cause inflammation. So if something comes in the body, we eat a bad food, that bad food stimulates the body to release cytokine. That cytokine would cause an inflammation. Suddenly you get a bump on your skin. Suddenly your stomach feels sick. You know, there are different responses in every organ. You know, if it goes in the brain, we may get a stroke. If the heart is damaged, we would have a heart attack. If it goes in the stomach, we may get, you know, if it's simple, we'll get a diarrhea or we'll throw up or, you know, to get rid of the toxin, to get rid of the cause that is the problem. But we have to fight it. We have to fight it with apoptosis. We have to fight it with everything that our body is prepared to fight against this outside invaders.
I've heard the term autophagy. Is that something that's similar or different?
Very similar because we're attacking the outside, whatever causing the pathology may be in a way. We are getting rid of it. We are attacking it. But just as I said at the beginning, if the body succeeds, we stay healthy. If the body cannot fight and succeed, then we surrender. The body surrenders. So we have to maintain our body healthy. We have a few different products that, you know, if they go to the website apoptosis.us, they can go to the science section and read all about it. And each product has a description. For example, we have ProCell. And I would like to talk about this because ProCell can be used exactly as you said for autophagy, because it can be used together with chemotherapy. It can be used together with immunotherapy because it promotes apoptosis to get rid of the damaged cell, the cell that is not functioning, the damaged DNA, all that. that, as we live, I don't want to say as we age, but as we are living every day, we are exposed to so many things. So why not have our body strong? Why not be prepared? We know that something's in the air. We know we may get a flu. We know we may get pneumonia. We know that COVID is still here. So why not be prepared? Why not have our system ready to fight it, to attack it? Exactly as you are talking about. We want to attack the invader as soon as it reaches the area around us, not even get inside the body.
It strikes me that we're becoming so much more aware of toxins in the environment and microplastic and this, that, and the other thing, and just lots of really bad things that are causing us to be unhealthy. And you've been doing this work for some time. Have you seen that people are more accepting of supplementing with nutraceuticals than they were 10, 15, 20 years ago?
Wow, great question. Great question. And let me give you an example. I mean, we have people who are health conscious. They do everything. They read articles, they follow research, they look for the best products, and they follow religiously to stay healthy. But not everybody does. But what we can see in the blue zones, and I don't know if you're familiar with the blue zones, we have it in California, for example. We have that people in the area of Redlands, they live to be about 110, 115. They are vegetarian. They don't eat red meat. I eat red meat. I'm not vegetarian, but I eat red meat maybe twice a year because there are amino acids that our body does not make. So we need to supplement, and we don't want to strive, without having what the body needs to function properly. But there are many vegetarians who live to be very old and they're healthy and they have good cognitive function. So there are areas that people have used nature and science to stay healthy. One of the reasons that attracted my attention was that in India, because they eat a lot of curry and they eat the spicy foods, the cancer statistic is so much lower.
Hmm.
So we can use that information to our advantage. We don't have to eat curry or Indian food every day, but we can use the supplements they're using as a form of, supplement, exactly, as a nutraceutical, and increase our immune system, increase and support apoptosis to work properly and maintain our health.
All about positioning ourselves for success, doctor. No idea what's coming next. It's probably going to
Well,
be bad. So,
it's not science fiction. This
right.
is science. We're not talking about something in the future. This is for now. We have it. We have the science. It's been explored for many years. There are a lot of research on apoptosis, and especially on apoptosis and cancer, for cancer survivors, for patients who are going through chemo or radiation. I would want them to read about this, to know about this. It's not very well known, but we're going to talk about it. And with your help, we're going to make many people learn about apoptosis and use it to their advantage.
I love it. Dr. Shore, thank you so much for coming on. Where can people learn more?
Well, they can go to our website, apoptosis.us. Very easy. APOPTOSIS.US. There's a science section, and then the products are there. If they have any questions, they can reach us at support@apoptosis.us or hello@apoptosis.us, and we will answer questions. And we would like to communicate with them. We have Instagram, Apoptosis Nutraceuticals on Instagram, and we communicate, and we are all over the world.
Excellent. If you enjoyed as much as I did, show Dr. Shoreh your appreciation. Share today's show with a friend who also appreciates good ideas. Share with the people who are really health conscious and the people who ought to be more health conscious. Share it with everybody. Go to Apoptosis, APOPTOSIS.us. Check out the research that Shoreh has been talking about. Obviously, check out the products. And then if you want to reach out at hello@apoptosis.us. Thanks again, Dr. Shoreh.
Thank you so much.
Till next time, remember, do your part by doing your best.